How many people die, Danny, never cashing their 401k out? Millions of people never even reach the age of retirement. They put money away in a 401k and an IRA. They prepared for a day that they weren't even guaranteed they would ever see.
But they can give it to their kids.
I understand that. But in essence, where I'm going with this, Danny, is that they're preparing for a day they may never see, which is retirement. I started in my 20s. I'm 40. There's no guarantee I'm going to reach 60. My question is, are you not guaranteed to die? So my question to people is, if we prepare for everything in this life, how do we not prepare for death? And people are like, what do you mean by that? Well, maybe there's nothing after death, Danny. But the overwhelming majority of this world, regardless of denomination, Hindu, Christian, Muslim, Jewish, Buddhist, ancient civilizations, Mayans, the ancient Egyptians, all believed in an afterlife. The overwhelming majority of this world throughout time, throughout history, has believed that there's an afterlife. Mm-hmm. They also believe if you don't believe what they believe, there's a price to pay. If I am not a Christian and I don't accept Jesus Christ as my personal Savior and Lord, I'm screwed based on Christian doctrine. I'm either going to purgatory or hell. Muslims believe if you associate anything with God, you go to hell, because only God is God, right? So it's like all the religions say, if you don't follow what they believe, there's an afterlife. That afterlife is forever. You're going to pay a heavy price. So my first question to the entire audience is, forget denomination right now. How do you leave something like that to chance? If there's even a small chance that there really is an afterlife and there is a torment waiting for us, you prepare for a life that you're not guaranteed to see tomorrow. You are guaranteed to die, yet you won't investigate. You won't go and look. The problem is most people follow their religion like a tradition. And when that tradition fails them, they assume all religion is garbage. There's nothing that's out there that works. They had something horrible happened to them in their faith, maybe a bad priest or a bad imam or something that happened. And now they want to group all religion into one. They also want to make the argument, well, where's God when you have wars like, Yemen, Syria, like where's God, the Holocaust? And that's a classic trap that people fall into, And I would flip the question just like Hamza Yusuf does. Not where's God, where's humanity? Where are you? You got this gift. You gave me this liquid death. I'm holding the can. I can pick it up. I can drink it. I could throw it at you. You'd probably get up and knock me out because you're in better shape than I am. That's called free will, brother. What are people doing with their free will? You want to leave it to chance? I promise you there's an afterlife. Me, I don't know this. I don't believe there's a God. I know there's a God. I've seen too much evidence to support that there is a God. My only argument to people is, have you really, really looked? Have you really, really studied? Are you trying to judge a religion based on the actions of human beings, which are flawed, which can do whatever they want? I could say I'm a Christian all day or a Muslim all day, but if I'm killing people, I promise you I'm not a Christian or a Muslim. That's not what the doctrine teaches. If you take innocent life, then you have a guy that gets up there and kills 1 million people and says he's a Muslim or a Christian no. So people look at what people do and then they want to judge the doctrine. To me, these doctrines are amazing. All of them teach you how to be a good human being. Every single one of them. The only core differences between Christianity, Islam, and Judaism is who was Jesus Christ. Other than that, they all teach you how to be more compassionate to man, woman, human, to be loving, to care about your environment, to be God conscious and aware that God sees everything you do, that you are being judged for what you do, that you will face the Creator one day. That's what even the religions that are not Abrahamic say that they're, what does Hinduism say? You're bad. You don't elevate to nirvana, you downgrade. You might be a raccoon the next life, or a rat, or a cockroach. You understand?
Right.
Because you don't, if you're good, you elevate to almost the status of becoming a god, right? You become, you reach nirvana. The highest levels, I'm sorry. I'm talking about Buddhism there. I'm talking about in the Hindu faith when you evolve, they believe in reincarnation. So like if you're not doing good in this life cycle, you will go down to a lower life cycle. If you're doing what you're supposed to in this life, you elevate to basically a God status.
Okay.
So all of them have some type of consequence for actions that we do in this world, in this dimension. And that's another similarity that all faiths have, So my argument to people is, if there's even a small chance that any one of these religions could be true, how do you not study the majority of them? How do you not go deep? How do you not look to see if there's something that actually after this life? Because if there is, Just like in this world, if the landlord comes and says, hey, the rent's due. Well, I didn't know the rent was due. Well, they're going to kick you out of the house. If there is an afterlife, that means you have to put work to find it. Just like in this life, we put work in, we prepare, we get ready. Your death is coming whether you want to think about it or not. Most people don't want to think about it. The only time they think about death is when they go to a funeral and they see someone, sometimes someone that they cared about. They cry for a couple of years maybe. I have, for years. Eventually we get back up and we move on with life. How many people really prepare in the way that I'm saying, to stop and take a step, disconnect from life, sit down somewhere quiet and like, I'm not going to be here forever.
I think it's probably the people like Yusuf, or the people that get old, or the people that develop terminal illnesses that actually have to confront death head on. When you have to confront death, I think those are the people who really study it and look into it and think about death more than anybody. I think all the other people spend all their waking moments trying to avoid the thought of death.
I think
everything that we do is a construct or a coping mechanism to try to avoid the thoughts of death and the fear of death.
Most people don't want to think about it.
Right.
Until something, like you're saying, I agree with you 100%. I think getting gray hair is a mercy from God. Do I like the fact I'm turning gray? No, but I think it's like a reminder. It's like the grains of sand.
You look like a fucking assassin
and
with that beard. Fucking Albanian assassin. I know all Albanians are assassins.
The grains of sand through the hourglass is what gray hair means to me. It's like God reminding you, yo, you're getting older. Your ride on the roller coaster is about to end if you live your natural life. It's a blessing. It's reminding you, hey, you're getting older. Like, have you looked? Have you done your homework? You want to just wait to see what happens when you pass away? So that's my first argument to people. Like, are you seeking knowledge? Do you realize that you will pass away? Do you realize that if there is a creator, and if any of these religions could be true, there's a price to pay on the other side? Do you really want to leave that to chance? And again, you might go through this whole journey and say there really is no God. I don't have a problem with the one that doesn't believe if they've done their homework. Some people, something bad happens to them. They were born to a horrible family, or something horrific happens and they go, well, there's no God. Why would God let this 5-year-old die of cancer? Why does God allow Yemen, to starve to death? Like there's a lot more to that than just that simple explanation that this makes no sense. Like, if there was this being, right, why does Bill Gates have $1 billion and people are starving to death? Like, how's that fair? And a lot of times it's these people that are evil that have all the money, right? So people use these arguments to try to say, well, that's why there's no God. I would argue, not where is God, where is humanity? We have a duty. One of my favorite quotes in the Quran is, do not oppress and do not be oppressed. That you have a duty to stand up against corruption in any civilization, in any culture. You have a duty as a human being to call out evil and hypocrisy. And when you see injustice, you're supposed to stand against it. Another quote of the Prophet was, if you see evil, stop it. If you can't stop it, physically stop it, speak out against it publicly. And if it's too dangerous to do that, then hate it with everything that's in your heart. Like, you have an obligation to stand against corruption, evil. That's whether you're a Christian, Muslim, or Jew. We have a duty to stand. And these are the things we have in common. And that's really what that whole clip was about, Danny. It wasn't about, oh, Muslims are right, Christians are wrong. No, it was like, yo, we all believe in these people. Which position we put them in, as king or just another soldier in the chain of God, cool. But look at what we have in common. We both believe in the Virgin Mary. We both believe in Jesus Christ. We both believe in the nuclear family. We both believe that there's a God who's going to judge us for our actions. We both believe that only God can judge us. So who am I to judge you, or you to judge me? It should be the opposite. And this is another a thought that I take from Hamza Yusuf, and I got to give the man credit. That if you truly believe that what you believe is the truth, and that these people are in trouble, then there's got to be a place of compassion where you actually feel sad for them. If you believe that what you believe is the truth, that they're not on the same path as you. You shouldn't be looking to fight with them or argue or debate, because even debate can be harmful if it's done the wrong way. It creates animosity. People need to have real conversations respectfully, and just know that there's an overwhelming majority that's the same.